But just speaking for myself, these are the ways that you guys continue to show up. And I can't thank you guys enough, all three of you, for continuing to, you guys started something and you saw it through. You didn't start here and leave, go back to, like, forget about Texas. You guys started something and you saw it through, and the benefits will outlive all of us. So thank you, Fotu, so much for sharing a little bit about your story. We are now joined here with your brothers, and I'll give them a moment to introduce themselves, starting with you, Sam.
Okay. I'm Sam, Sabim Katoa. I'm Fotu's younger brother, and we moved out here in '82. I'm sure Fotu mentioned it. I actually came here when I first got here. We moved in January, so halfway through the school year, I went to Euless Junior High. Oh. And I actually played basketball there at Euless Junior High for Coach Busey at the time, and they told us about football starting up, which was new to me. I was like, wait, what? We didn't have spring ball in Utah when we moved there, so they're like, you guys are going to be, since you're ninth grade, you're going to be the 10th grade team next year. So we go up to Trinity and practice there. And I was like, whoa, that sounds like big time stuff right there. You know, you just didn't do that in Utah. Right. So we went up and anyways, it was, yeah. I think that's a little more than introducing myself.
Oh, well, no, thank you.
But that's what happened, and got to Trinity the next year, and yeah, went on.
What year was that?
So that was we came in '82. So it was in '82, and then the next year, '83, I went to Trinity, and then Coach Lineweaver, Steve Lineweaver, he was actually the head coach for the JV team. And then he was an assistant for the varsity team with Coach Riddell. And so went over there and started playing there. And, of course, Fotu was already there because he came in and went right to Trinity. And, yeah, that's when everything started up that way. And yeah, we moved forward like that. And back then, there was hardly – I was at the junior high with Poliana. And now,
Celia.
You remember?
Celia, Taufatofu.
Yeah, Celia was. I think she was actually. Celia was up at Trinity already. Remember, she was a year older than us.
Yeah.
Me and Ofa graduated same year.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and Nia was with us at Trinity. We had our little crew there with Nia and Vehi and Isaiah, and a little group there, but. Yeah, there was hardly any of us there.
Yeah.
Just a small group. We had a small group there. Bila passed away here.
Yeah, he passed away while we were there. I think he was the first student to pass away here.
Yeah. So,
and Anau, you said?
Anau, remember her last name? Sione is Magalahi's sister. Yeah. And back then they had Sione Haisila's church down there in South Euless.
Wasn't that everybody went to church
everybody
there?
Went there.
Everybody,
They did. You know,
everybody.
Matter of fact, it was like, that was the only church was here.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's funny because
Talking
we'll
church.
go to our Mormon church, we'll go there on time, then we all rush into the so everybody, because we have enough.
Everybody was close.
It was good. It was close.
Everybody was close, and it wasn't like it was nice. Religion didn't matter.
Yes.
All that doesn't matter. We were talking, and we came together. How it should be.
Yeah. And the idea of worshiping together in the Tongan language was very important too back then. And so that happened over there. So I got here after Sione Haisila. That church was already running at that point in time. So about how many people did y'all used to pray with or gather with?
Oh man, that was just a small amount.
30?
Man, it's just there's a couple of families here, and it seemed like the families were the ones that just kind of made up the congregation in the churches.
We also have some individual members that come, they commute working from California because Sky Chef back then was the job for everybody, right? So they like single dad come and work, bring their family. Then after that, they stop bringing their family home.
Back in those days, and I think that's what started the movement. I think here when it comes to airport working, because back in those days, anybody that go and interview at the airport, they pretty much tell them pack your bags and go with it, because you're going to get hired. The day you go in the interview, you get hired. It doesn't matter what job you're looking for. if it's the ramp, if it's the gate, if it's sky shift, or it's security, whatever. Because I remember back in the day, you could walk into any terminal there, especially American.
Yeah.
You got securities that was talking. They're working in the restaurants. They're working on the ramp. They were all there. We were all there for benefits, so we could get around and support each other. That's how it was back in the day. Yeah. But
And talk a little bit about where everybody lived back then. All the Tonga people. When I got here in '84, it was scattered from Irving to Watauga
yeah,
to Arlington.
yeah.
And where else? Where up
It's
north?
funny. There was actually a couple families that actually lived out in South Oak Cliff
Oh,
back in the day. The
Who?
Mapa family and even the Tafua family. They actually lived out in South Oak Cliff, and then they obviously moved back in closer to all the Tongans. But yeah. So
Okay. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself too. Okay. My name. Sorry. My name is Fred Katoa, and I'm one of the brothers here. Again, my story is a little bit different for my brothers because when we first moved here, that some had to go to school and some had to work. So I decided I went to Trinity, but for about a month, I think. And that's when I dropped out of Trinity High School. And again, we decided to work to help the family and support the younger one, to go to school. But in the same time, my story will turn around later. But I want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity and also offer with the community the work you guys are doing. Okay, and again, this is a great time for us. It's feel like everybody's back, and it was a great reunion for us to gather here with my brothers. And even though there's some that passed, and some are still out there, but it's a great opportunity. So I want to thank you guys.
thank you, Fred. Can you tell us a little bit about everybody that was here? I just remember coming here. I know there were other family members. Makahunu Niu family was all the way over there. Kena and them. Kena Fiailo and them was up there in Watauga. Alani and Sia and them were over there. Viola and Mapu were there. And Mele Vili and Vehi and them's family, they were all over there. And that's that way. And when we used to drive from there was housings, and then we stayed there, and then there was like bushland. It was like farm. There was nothing there. There was one Shell gas station on Roof Snow, and then so that gas station was there, and a McDonald's. And then you would drive, and there was nothing along the road, and then you'd get here to Euless, and then on the way to the airport. And some people came from Irving down this way. There used to be hula hulas. That was like our get together, and everybody dressed up and went to the dance, and it was like the most exciting shindig ever, just to see and mix with everybody. And then what about summers and volleyball games? Did y'all ever do any of that? Well, tell us about it.
Well, that was what you said there was so right, because everybody was still very close. We'd all meet at the Euless Park here. We'd play volleyball there.
Midway.
At Midway Park, Midway here. And we played volleyball there until the sun went down. And everybody came there, and they brought some food and just played. Everybody just gathered and made it fun.
That park back there, not to interrupt the flow, but that park where Midway is now, the rec center wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
The rec center used to be on Ector, right across the street from where the city offices are. That was the original rec center at Euless. And the police station where I started at was right across the street from the post office.
Wow.
There was a building right there. Where the police department's at now, and that they're getting ready to remodel and all that, there used to be a hotel.
Oh.
That was a hotel back in the
What
day.
was that called? In Elvis
Westerner.
stayed there?
Yeah, Elvis. That's their pride and joy about that hotel. Elvis stayed there.
That's cool.
And then next to it was the hangout place. That's where the movie theater was, and the bowling alley right there next to it. Back in the day, that's where we'd go hang out. And yeah, I mean, there was nothing here.
Go ahead and finish.
There was nothing here. We ended up living on Meadowview, right there. That was North Euless right there. That's where Euless ended basically. There was no Bear Creek back there. We used to go. There was nothing but Val back there, and that Fuller Weiser Road, that was a 2-lane grass, weed everywhere.
That's right. Wow.
That's where we got our workout. We used to walk out our back gate, and jog up full of Weiser all the way to Glade by the airport and then jog back down. That was our workout trail. But there was nothing back there, nothing. But yeah, Euless was a little smaller than no Kroger's, nothing like that at Harwood. Yeah.
We had a Winn-Dixie
Yeah, the Winn-Dixie, yeah.
and the
Right
Easy
there
Way.
on 10. Yeah, the easy way, right at the intersection of 10
That
and
was the
Main.
store at Main Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Where that racetrack is, there's a Wesleyan Church right there.
yeah,
Palangi one.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
Oh,
you?
man.
How was your journey here, Sam? When you got here, Fotu was talking about earlier how when he got up to school and some of the Palangi people over there were. Did you find a lot of help from Palangi people and in your journey? And how did that go for you when you went to Trinity and football and everything?
Well, when it was different because at the time it was just us basically, and then of course Behi and them guys we all played together,
Tofua.
Yeah, Tofua and them, and it was just I don't know. It's one of those things we knew they didn't know much about us, and so when we played the game back in the day, everybody, Texas high school football is no joke. Everybody knows it's a big thing. It's a big deal, and it is, But when we got here, we felt being Tongan like we had to represent for our people, and that was kind of an extra push because we knew we had to represent for us and show them what we're all about, and so when we played, it's like there's an extra, just like a little extra thing of that we had to play for more than just our school, our family. We had to play for our people to show the people in Texas what we're all about. So, and we have that little built-in thing in us as Tongans, taifeto, so we use it in a good way. We use it in a good way to try to, to try to outshine everybody when we're on the field and all that kind of stuff. But so, yeah, it was an interesting journey, but yeah, I think we kind of introduced our people to the Texas folks on the football field.
I think some of the funny memories that since he brought that up was, do you guys remember Moser Valley?
Yes. Oh God. Yes.
Yes, we do. So what happened was,
You're remembering too many stuff.
Yeah, not Tube Street, Moser Valley.
So we had a lot of the African American kids were living in Moser Valley, and I had no idea what Moser Valley was. And so they say, we know they were trying to get to know us, and we talked about roasting pigs and doing all these things, and then some of the guys would say, "Hey, my grandmama has some pigs in her front yard, and you guys can roast it?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get it. Do you guys want to do it?" And yeah, we've never seen it. So I get my brothers in there, and we go into Moser Valley. I had no idea what Moser Valley was. And we went in there. It was like The Color Purple, the movie, It was still dirt road. People, it was like, oh, no, this was the port. And one day we went there, there was a dead body on the side of the road. And they were just like saying, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. And I was like, okay, and so they did all that stuff. But Moser Valley was literally a little community in itself that was like dirt road. People just
had a dump back there.
They had a dump. The city dump was by there, and then it was like that's their village. I mean, that's them, and they still sit in rocking chairs out front, and they see everybody come by, and it's all the African American population, And so we go there, and of course we got a couple pigs, and we roasted it, and they loved it. So just some funny things, Just borrow it, and their grandma ate it too. They loved it because we cooked it really nice, But I'm just saying funny stories like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They had no idea, but I had no idea. A lot of people didn't know that if they didn't go into Moser Valley. It's hard to explain that literally exists here in here.
Yeah.
That kind of living.
Yeah. So Moser Valley, Valley. So I work with the city, with the historical committee, and so got to know a little bit about the history around the area. So Moser Valley was a slave community.
Right.
It was a gift. There's a Delcy Johnson that was the original. The owners had gifted her that slot of land back in the days, and so there's a lot of that's what Fotu is talking about. I didn't know that it was that way when y'all first got here.
Oh yeah.
But I remember that the Tonga people used to go there to get their pigs and buy the pigs right from the Moer Valley. It is farm zoned. It's agricultural zone even right now. But I remember that the Tonga people went there for
Yeah. Yeah, the Tonga people was before there, but they didn't want to say it. But our dad had a pig farm back there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, we had probably the biggest one back there, and every afternoon we have to go and pick up food for the pigs, run back and forth,
I remember.
No, but it was some experience that we want to share because again, to think back what you guys are trying to do now, and again, I remember you guys when you guys first came.
I know.
And it's just make me proud to see you guys what you're doing right now. And it's the same thing,
But
like
the journey, it's been a hard one.
Yes, that's the whole thing. But like I said, our dad, when he did the pig farm back there, and it was like a fun thing for us. Like after school, we run home and say, "Hey, just go feed the pigs." Like But the thing is, it's some of us didn't want to do it. Just kind of don't let them see us do this. But again, to think about it, what they did.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that kind of give us, motivation to do what we're doing, and again, like, thank you guys again.
Yeah. Can you guys name your brothers that were here?
Yeah, Fred. Let Fred again. Let Fred tell everyone. Tell them from top down.
Okay. I'm gonna share this, and again, when we first moved here from Tonga, this story, every time we talk about it, it's gonna get emotional a little bit. Because nobody really know how we stand. But when my dad, my biological dad, my real dad, he was older than Paulo Katoa. Okay?
Do you know that I lived here for how many years and I never knew that was your dad is his brother. I always thought Paulo Katoa was every single one of you guys' dad. That's what I always thought. I didn't know that.
Thank you, but that was the thing, and a lot of people even
That's how he wanted it.
and that's how he wanted it. Like when we first, to share the story, when my dad passed away, then they had some promise with the brothers, when he left, came here, something happened to me, please love my kids, hey? So he came, when my dad passed away, then Paula came and got all of us. There were 7 of us, okay, 7 of us. And my mom, and our mom. So that's why you guys always see us,
I'm so confused.
Mele and Mehi, Mehi. They were like our mothers here and our dad. Hey, that's how we were growing up and stuff. And there was 11 of us. The oldest is Pupungatua.
Yeah.
Okay, he was married Faleiva, and all his kids like Tony, Happy, Vape, and Fohe. And the second one, Simone, he married Palangi, and they live in Utah. Then after him is Betty. Then Bill Williami.
Yeah, I know Williami.
Yeah.
Williami.
Yep. Then he comes down to Fotu. Fotu's like a year older than me. Okay. Then
Where's Lopini?
Lopini's right after me here.
After
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, he's younger than him.
I look younger than all that.
So, Lopini, then Hair, Little Hair. That's our sister. I guess we had 2 sisters, right? I got Little Hair.
I remember that.
Yes. Then Sam. Then the 2 youngest one is the twins. I go Paula and Melissa.
Yeah.
And Melissa still
And there
alive.
was one that passed away.
And
in
the
Salt
one
Lake.
that passed away in Utah, I
76.
go Lynn, he was the youngest one, and that's the kind of and even when we grow up, when we move over here in Texas, nobody even know that everybody thought they were all the same dad and same that, but that's the way he wanted it. He was so mad one time in the newspaper when I think it was me and Sam were playing football and said the 2 cousins. They said, there's no such a thing as cousin. I raised you guys. Do that, But that's why I'm grateful that you asked because, and again, we only consider everybody here, we're brothers and sisters, and that's why we're proud of what we're doing and stuff. Right?
Yeah, and that's something even in the city because they knew your dad and they knew all of you. I started working over there and I get to know people and some of them would be surprised. I said, no, that's actually their cousin, and they're like, what? No.
No.
And I said, well, but that is a Tonga culture,
Yeah.
right? That is Tongan culture to raise children so that we don't have the word cousin. We don't have the word aunts and uncles. It's all moms and dads, and depending on moms on the dad's, I mean your dad's brothers, that's all dads, and then your mom and your uncles, your mom's brothers, and they're called fa'e. So that is something that he carried through here. How do you see the culture today, and in your own families, or even here for the Texas young people? How do you see the culture, that part of our culture? Is it surviving? Is it thriving? Is it starting to ebb? The idea of raising your brother's children along with you as same.
Again, like, to think about it now, we're going through the same thing. Like, two of my brothers passed away, our brothers passed away. And, we try to keep the same thing, like, as a role model, as a father figure for some of the, of his kids and their kids. But, I can only speak for for our family, and I think we're still going strong with what we're doing. We try to make sure we attend everybody's, like, if you have something, even if it's out of town, we still try to go there. Thank God for the, the American airline and all the airlines for, but again, I know we've been, jumping around a little bit here, but I'm grateful for what we're doing here because of what you guys are doing, and give us the opportunity to share with this here. Like we're talking about everything else, we're coming back here to see this place grow, and again, even though tonight we celebrate, what our brother did, the first song and they play out here, but there were so many great, so many students that went through Trinity, Sam, but we can name it. I mean, you guys know already. I don't want to miss anybody before somebody get mad, but we have some great, athletes that came out of Trinity, great, parents. So we're just kind of happy that we part of it,
Any advice, Sam? I know that you were inducted to the Hall of Fames over there, and so Fotu is also there. And then I know Fred said there's a couple of others, Eileen and
yes,
and Lee Foriaki.
I think so.
Junior guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you talk about that and talk to the youth today, talk to our kids, Texas, Tongan youth of Texas, and any advice on how to journey through and how to, achieve some of the things you guys have achieved?
So for me, it's there's no secret to it. It's you just got to work hard. You got to work hard and try to do the best at whatever it is you're doing. And when you're doing, it seems like with something like the being inducted to the Hall of Fame and all that, it's a great opportunity. It's a great honor. But I think it's kind of like when you're, because it's a whole different committee that picks that. It's not like you go volunteer or you're trying to run a campaign to be a part of that. You do good work and it affects other people in the community and they take notice of it. They reward you and appreciate that for you. I didn't ask for it. Fotu didn't ask for it. It's just I left you already. I moved out to Utah and then I got a call the year after I left that I'm going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2005. And I was surprised. I didn't know. Like I said, it's not something I went and looked for. You just try to do good and live a good life, and nobody's perfect, but you try to do things that affect the community. They're the ones I pick. They recognize what you do. They recognize your good works. It means a little something to them. And, when they have a pool of people that they decide who they want to pick, and obviously your name comes up and they decide, these people that we don't even know half of them, decide that they want to pick you, then it's an honor because you got a bunch of strangers that picked you because whatever you did affected them. And I know a big part of my getting inducted to it was when I worked through the police department and did that because I was actually, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but I was the first talking police officer in the state of Texas. And then in 2001, I was police officer of the year out here. And I'm not saying that to say, look at me. I'm just saying that to say, I guess what I did back then affected people that we don't even know, for them to call me after I left here and say, come on back here, we want to recognize you. So I guess any advice would be work hard, do what you are supposed to do.
Do what's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
Thank you. That's great advice for the kids. I want to say thank you to Fotu. When he called, I think him and Fred might have talked, and then he had called and to invite me. And what he said was, I would love for you to come. We are no longer in the community, and they've called, and typical Tonga, he said, mahalo kay te ahataha ke nau fili ku fili ayau, and, that's a typical Tonga way of humility and so forth. And so when he called, he asked about, to come, and it was very important for him to recognize the community and everybody here who has done whatever we're doing, including you all, the Gastati sisters, and all of the hard work that you guys put in and we all put in here. And so it was important to him that somebody showed up to do that for. And while I have a huge team of ETCC and TYAT members, I think it was it was an honor to, be able to show up there and to support that. And we're very grateful for that. I didn't get an invitation with the first induction, but it's okay. I'm not complaining or anything.
Sorry, that's actually past me.
We edited that part.
So I'm just saying, but anyway, I'm really grateful for that, and it is true. While you guys, I feel like that once, when award win, it's a win for all of us, right? And we want to support that, and it's something that helps the younger people to look up to. We're going to know if Fred, he's a truancy officer for the high school for years. So he's helped along those lines in the back end. And,
sorry, I don't
know.
No. Can I say something about Fred real quick?
Yes.
And Fred, because a lot of people doesn't know this, and I think this is something that could help with your people, with the kids, as far as example. Fred, like he stated earlier, and he kind of stopped. He only went to Trinity for a month, and then he quit school. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He quit. And Fred decided just to work and try to help out, financially and stuff. And then Fotu actually ended up going on one of our church missions, came back, and Fotu signed with BYU. And the grades were so good, they told him he had to go to junior college first. And so he had to. So there's a lot of editing. So Fred ended. So when Fotu went to Rick's, Fred wanted his mission, and Fotu, like they said earlier at the Hall of Fame thing, him and his wife were both inducted to the Hall of Fame in college. They were both All-American. She was All-American. But so Fotu had a lot of pull with the coach there. Fred, with no high school education, when he went on his mission, no football. He played rugby and stuff. And when he came back from his mission, Fotu hooked it up where he talked to the coaches and everybody there. I got a brother. He's good size. Long story short, he went up there, took his GED. And when he took his GED, they gave him a scholarship to come up to the junior college. Long story short, Fred's sitting here with no high school education. He's got a bachelor's degree from BYU. And that's and
again, that's why I always thank Fotu, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the opportunity to go back to school, and it's one of the things that we always kind of share with each other and stuff. And very thankful for him for starting. Because if he wasn't with that story, then we're going to be loyal. Because I think my size and everything might have been
Edit that too. He said I'm a liar. Don't do that. He said I'm a liar now. See these two? See what's up with this?
No, that's what we call going look for
But Ofa, I just brought that up just to state the fact that you could do whatever you put your mind to. Here's someone that didn't have a high school education, and because of things he decided that he was going to try to go for and get done. Like I said, it's funny. Here's a guy with no high school diploma, but he has a bachelor's degree from BYU, and so you could do whatever you put your mind and heart into and get it done. So just
I think just adding to that is like because you're asking about the youth, right? There's no circumstance that can't be overcome, and we can make every excuse, and it doesn't matter. It might take you a year, it might take you 10 years to graduate, but get it done. And there's a process, and there's people around, there's people that help you, and there's the ways and the process is set up to work. But Fred's story, it's I shared that with Dr. Harrington. And he just looked back. He just said, "What? I love Fred even more now." And no, I told him your story, and he was blown away because when you ask about for the youth, he stopped because he, in the Tongan way, because we needed money, and let me and Sam go to school. And so when I got to college, I'm like, "Hey, brother, it's time to take care of you." I told the coach, I got a big brother back there. He's going to be a beast. He's good and all that stuff, right? And then the coach called him and they talked and he came up and they offered him a scholarship if he passed his GED. So he passed his GED. And like I said, Sam said, he worked his tail off. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Think of coming in going into college, then going from JC to
you called back, right? Told Dad you want to quit.
I was going to quit too. After I passed my GED and didn't play football in high school, it was hard. So after one practice, I called back, "Dad, I'm coming home."
What did he tell you?
And you know what he said? Because you can see your mic down the phone. Think about it. Yeah. Nakaga mo na.
Aguante, ulian. We want to say with that.
I'm not going to repeat why he said that. I'm just kidding. But he did.
Mama would be she edit.
Kind of encouraged me, No, but he was good. He kind of advised to say, and that's the thing that kind of motivated me. Say, you know what? I paid, and then finally just paid off, got my degree and come back home, and that's the kind of story like something I heard share with the kids. It's not a story from the book or some story that I see in the movie and stuff. I just gotta share with them a little bit what you go through. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
So.
And it sounds like you guys understand that education is something that is probably very important to our journey and important to growth and important to continuing to give back to the existing society and to America and to the system. And how helpful would you say education is? What do we want to do with our students now, and all of the opportunities that comes with playing football and the talent, the natural God-given talent that they have. If there are students out there who are struggling, sometimes home life is very difficult. A lot of times our parents aren't real supportive of us continuing on to college because you could enter the workforce at that point and start working to help with bills and everything. What advice, any advice to our youth, the Tongan youth of Texas?
You want to start? Want me to start? If there's anything that I would say is that, it's very unfortunate because we see it even today, because back in the days, it was the same thing. Hey, we got to stop. We got to work. We got to help. That's real. There's a need. Everybody needs to help out. And unfortunately, because of the economic situation at the home or stuff, but at the long run, if they can see the potential or the opportunity and sacrifice just that moment to allow these kids to go forward and to push and to help them and orchestrate what they're trying to do to make them better or to get into college. Because in the way it's set up today, everybody can go to college paid for because of all the opportunities that are available to them. And so to have them, and I think what's happening is we maybe some of the kids don't see the big picture because maybe short term versus long term, because it's easier to get the short term benefits. Let's look at the long term sacrifice a little bit more to get the benefits there. And as I remember when growing up, I saw like one of the people in Salt Lake. He was the first attorney there that I knew of, a lawyer, right? And he was like, and he came around. I was like, oh man, that's Attorney Whitby. That's so cool. He's in a suit and he's walking around the school where we were at, meeting with people, and he was in a tie and he was, dressed like an attorney or a business person. That was motivating, eh? Yeah. And so I saw that, and then saw some people, and like again, my dad, he was an entrepreneur. He doesn't know that. He just called it whainga. He did all of that stuff, and I saw it. And like I said, I was fortunate because I was his interpreter. And he always made me, these guys ran off when he called them to do it, And so I was always his interpreter. And so I learned from that. But I think seeing the big picture, but I do get it, understand that the immediate need versus long-term goals. And it's hard to balance that. If I had an answer, I'd be a rich man right now, but but it's just that fine balance and pushing and helping and it's little sacrifice. So.
I'll just keep it short. I know you guys probably, but to me, I kind of have a different view on this. Like not the edit parts and this and that, but education is obviously very, very important. But to me, whether you have that education or you don't have the education, it's all about your heart. For me, I have an opportunity when I had the opportunity to work in law enforcement and other things, that had opportunity to talk to a lot of our youth kids. And what I would share with them, specifically our Tongan kids, is I just kind of remind them, if they don't know their story, their family story, they need to find out what that is. And I mean the real deep story about the sacrifices that were made in their behalf. They grow up in this country all comfortable and everything, and everything's handed to them. And, you go, man, if they could really get to the root of what it took for either them or their parents or whoever that first generation was to come here to America, and the sacrifices that were made on their behalf, and people that died along the way trying and working day to night and through the night to the next day and so on for minimum wage just to put food on the table for them, to eat, have something to eat. If they could get to the root of that and put that in their heart. So, of course, education, like I said, is key. It helps with a lot of it. Education gets you into jobs that you couldn't have without that piece of paper. I mean, that's just, but some people don't have that. So you put faith on your heart and love in your heart for your family, whoever, and you let that be the driving force to get you going. Because we're kind of built that way. It's in our DNA as Tongans to faith no matter what. Mate matonga. We die for whatever. We die for whatever we put our heart into. So that's how I look at it. So I don't know if you guys want to hear this part, but whether you have an education or you don't have an education, get it done. Somehow, some way, get it done. Bills need to be paid. Food needs to be there for the kids. Yeah. Do something.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think that is very true. You've got to do both. It's important to do both. And if you are not able to get to your education at that specific point in time, I think it's very important to fight, because our parents, they didn't have education, yet they made it happened. They worked hard, but I think probably hard work and doing what's right, staying above the line, put your head down, spend all your time working hard, and education will probably come along anyways, because you learn from your experiences and you gain more knowledge and gain more experience and gain people around you to help you grow and help you in your journey. So absolutely, I can see that. We were talking the other day that sometimes I've gone into a dilemma about preaching to the Tongan youth of Texas about going on to university straight from high school, and how they're teaching God out of our students and teaching family and the cultural values and the traditions that we grow up with in Tonga, and how that's taught out of the students nowadays in university. So yeah, that is a dilemma, and hard work seems to be the trend, and the conversation is hard work and make it happen.
No, I heard what everyone said, and I think that's a great advice and everything. But in the same time, I deal with some of the kids. I think they got it wrong sometimes. Every Tongan boy, they think they're all football players, but it's not that way. We've been blessed with different talents. And the thing is, if you're good on arts, do it. Okay, but I think at the same time, as parents, we have to see it in different ways. Let him go, do something, whatever your talent is, don't give up, just keep going, and I think that's a big part of us to make sure as the parents to help our kids.
And academics.
Both. I mean, but that's, but I think that's the thing. If you're good, whatever you're good on, a lot of skills, whatever you have been blessed with, go for it. And don't let anybody stop you, In the same time, encourage them, when they go home at night, who do you see around the house? Just your family. That's the most important thing to you.
Exactly.
Your friends will come one day and they can turn around and go the other way next day. So it's all good to just make sure they see what the value stuff in the family, that's the most important thing that they can do.
Anna, before you wrap up, I know that we pulled this thing last minute, and it was touch and go, and we canceled once or twice, and then I just want to acknowledge, and hopefully you don't edit this out, but thank you guys so much for making this happen. This would probably never happen again, or hopefully it does, and we could do a better job maybe of pulling stuff out of everybody. But this was something that we had talked, or I had dreamed about doing, and trying to start capturing history and oral history and history as we're still alive, and still here to record memories of the parents and the people who came before us, the Texas pioneers, the Tongan Texas pioneers who came here and brought us here, and thank God they did, and expose us to a culture here in Texas that is wonderful, full of God and family and love, and allowed us to develop and allow us to grow and allow us into their community and take people in and give us opportunities so that we can elevate and shift the movement of our people in the journey and make it worth it. And we thank you guys so much for all that you guys do and making this happen for these guys. It's it's a historical piece for me, and hopefully we can do more of this, and thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Alpha, for saying that, and also for telling us not to edit it out of the video, because we cannot do that now. But thank you so much. We're just so honored to be a part of this series that you're trying to do now, document all of this important history, especially for our culture, our community. Something that blows my mind is that I'm sitting here with the pioneers, with the early settlers of my community. That's what I'm saying. But that it wasn't that long ago, that we still have work to do, that we're still in the beginning, even though, the years between us is not that much. And to see that so much has been done in that short time, I'm just so honored to be a part of it. So thank you for wanting to document this and memorialize it, because our children and grandchildren and those who may migrate here later in the future, they will get to see the beginning stories of what took place here, with you guys getting together, not sharing the same faith, religion, but getting together because what was important was worshiping together in your language with your people. Sorry, but that means so much to me. especially as us, we didn't grow up here. And so we migrated here too. And it was a scary move for my parents to make that decision to come here because they were my age when they came here, just in their mid-30s. And so when they came here and us as children watching them and following in their footsteps, like you said, it's so important to know your story because that's what gives you the strength to go further. Like you said, there was just something that pushed you harder on the basketball court, on the field, whatever it was that we were doing. There was something that you were carrying and it was bigger than yourself. And I have to say thank you for that because you are the ones that put us on the map. If you didn't do that, we would not have known of Euless, Texas. We would have not known that Texas could be a home that shares the same values, morals, and beliefs as our culture, as our Tongan culture. Like you said, when you came, you were just so accepted by Coach Lineweaver and the Texas community. And whether it was because of your skill, they totally came around and just loved you guys and just gave you guys a place to settle. And I mean, look at all of us here now, whether you know it or not, or whether you will ever know just how far that impact or that ripple, how far it has gone. We are a direct, have been directly impacted by that, by what your family has done here, especially you brothers, for choosing to settle here and choosing to carry that weight. You could have said, we don't want to make noise, we don't want to bring attention, let's just do what we want to do. But you guys really, it's amazing to think that you guys really thought about the weight of, oh, we're the first Tongans. They don't know who we are. We need to make our small little dot on the map proud. We need to make our people proud. That means so much to me. I'm so proud. I'm so sorry. I'm so proud to be a part of people like us. So thank you for that. And also thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your stories and sharing how you guys had to come together. And I also love hearing the different advice that you have given to our young students who are listening, because like you said, Sam, education, it can come in many forms, right? It can come through experience. It can come through your knowledge, especially today with access to media, social media. You have access to seminars that people have to pay for. You have access to classes and free resources. The learning doesn't stop. And just like Fred, he's a true testament of that. And, you know, it says that your gift will make way for you. And look at his brother's gift. Fotu's gift not only made way for himself, but for his brother. And Fred takes credit for that because he set you up, but you still had to go and take the GED. You still had to go and walk into a new experience. When you left school, you were done with it. And for you to come back and for you to say, you know what, I'm going to get myself a bachelor's. I'm going to, if he can do it, I can do it. And it just shows me that all of you carry your father's spirit in that. And when you were translating and they were saying, tell him no, and your father was like, no, tell them no, and we can do it. Right. And thinking about that, if you ask yourself, can you go to college without a high school diploma or without high school itself? Because you only went 1 month and left. And anybody in their right mind would say, no, don't even ask. But I feel like your father's spirit just shined through you and helped you as you didn't see you didn't see any closed doors, and you made it happen. And look at us today. I just want to share a little story that how with Fred, when we first came here, the first time I met Fred, I was actually 5th grade, 6th grade, first time, South Euless Elementary, first time here in America, first time seeing a school. This elementary school is so big. I came from Tonga Side School, and I'm walking into a gym full of students, and Fred is the coach. And I remember, right, this guy, right.
We never knew he was a coach.
No, Fred wears many hats. Yeah, don't let him fool you. So we walk in, and I remember. And I probably looked really out of place because Fred asked me, are you new here? Did you just come straight from the islands? And I said, yes. And he said, Pato helea whakatonga, and I said, oh, sisipe. And I was thinking, Fred, I just came from Fiji. I didn't come from Tonga, I came from Fiji. Just because my parents raised us up in the ministry, they were moving around a lot. But I remember that small interaction. I was so excited to go home and tell my parents, there's a Tongan man at my school, and, you know, he knows me, and it just, right, a Tongan coach, sorry. A coach. Yes. And so, but that little interaction just made me feel so comfortable and welcome to come to school, knowing that there was someone there that looked like me, that knew that I was new here and could speak to me on my level and my understanding. And so those are the little things. I mean, that little impact has never left me. That has always been on my mind. I remember in high school, and, you know, my brother was starting to come up in high school, and he was starting to be a teenager. And I remember one day looking out the window, and there was a man coming to the door to speak to my dad. And I remember looking out the window, I said, that's the coach. That's the coach. He looks so familiar.
That's a fake
So
coach.
I think at that time that the new title, I think, is counselor now. Wait, no.
No, very
Coach
true.
or counselor.
Yes, very true. Counselor. And it was Fred, and he came to talk to my dad and just let us know, hey, this is the situation that's going on, and I just want to give you a heads up. You have always been that person for us. You have always been that person for many. But just speaking for myself, these are the ways that you guys continue to show up. And I can't thank you guys enough, all three of you, for continuing to, you guys started something and you saw it through. You didn't start here and leave, go back to, like, forget about Texas. You guys started something and you saw it through, and the benefits will outlive all of us. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. I'm so excited that Alpha wanted to capture this, because this is something that I will get to share with my kids and share with my family. So I want to say thank you to all of you guys. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, guys.
yes, thank you.
All right.
Can I say something off the record?
Well,
This is awesome to me, because I am a descendant of founding forefathers of a different place. You know, my grandparents came from Tonga to New Zealand back in 1968.
Wow.
And they moved to Sydney in 73, because I was not born in Tonga. But this is special to me. It hits home because it's the pioneering people that make a difference. But I'm glad that you guys tell your story. My family are not storytellers on my mother's side, but I love this. And you guys have made a difference. I love it.
Thank you,
Elder.
Appreciate it.
No, but thank you guys.